Dricus du Plessis is defending his middleweight title against Israel Adesanya this Saturday, and a lot of people seem to think that Israel Adesanya is going to get his belt back. And when he does it, he's probably going to do it in a dominant fashion, and Dricus du Plessis is the underdog in this matchup. And in this video, I'm not giving my prediction for this fight. I'm not saying who I think is going to win. I'm simply saying how I think Dricus du Plessis, the underdog, can beat Israel Adesanya. But if you guys want to see my prediction for this fight, make sure you guys tune in because it's dropping this Friday. But with all that being said, let's get right into how I think Dricus du Plessis can beat Israel Adesanya. The first key to victory I have for Dricus du Plessis to win this fight is on the few occasions that we've seen Israel Adesanya lose in the UFC, we've seen pressure be a major key to his opponents beating him. He likes to go backwards, but there's a certain point where you can't keep going backwards and you're just trapped up against a fence and your opponents can tee off on you. And we've seen Sean Strickland just constantly put a ton of pressure on Israel Adesanya, keeping him moving, having him use more energy than Sean Strickland was using. And same thing with Pereira. Pereira was able to just trap him up against the fence and unleash those power shots and those heavy shots. And Dricus, if he wants to have success in this fight, he's going to need to push him back, get him thinking about the hands, go for a takedown, don't give him space to react, fake the takedown, go and then let your hands go. There's a bunch of things that you can work off of that pressure with, so use that heavy pressure. The next key to victory I have for Dricus is something else that worked very well for Pereira, Sean Strickland, and Jan Blachowicz was to defend the leg kicks. Israel Adesanya, one of his best weapons is his leg kicks, and if he can't really get those off, then you're shutting a major part of his offense. And we've seen Jan Blachowicz, after the Jan Blachowicz fight, Israel Adesanya say that his legs were feeling weak and they were kind of feeling limp, and that's because Jan Blachowicz was defending the leg kicks and he was doing something else, which I'll talk about later in this video. But Alex Pereira did the same thing. He was able to kind of mess up Israel Adesanya's legs, take his movement away because he's got such great footwork. He's able to evade shots. So take away his feet basically by defending the leg kicks. And that's going to be very important for Dricus in this fight. But the next key to victory for Dricus is a reactive takedown. Is basically when your opponent is coming to attack you, he's already coming towards you, which is one step of the takedown. You got to get to your opponent, right? But your opponent is coming towards you, they attack with something, and then you go in for a blast double leg, and it's going to make it a lot easier because your opponent's a lot closer to you and they're already using that momentum, and it's just going to be easier to take them down. And Israel Adesanya, sometimes when he throws leg kicks, he might leave himself open for a reactive takedown, and Dricus can take away his leg kicks using those takedowns. And also, sometimes if he's trying to counter you, he might pull back and then try to attack with something big, and you can use a reactive takedown when he's attacking, or just when he's straight up going for an attack, just go for that takedown and it's going to be there for you. And it's a great way to get an easier takedown. And the next key to victory I have for Dricus is Israel is a great counter striker. He's able to just get his head out the way of your shots and then come back and attack you with a big shot of his own, while you might be leaving yourself open because you're overextending, trying to reach him because he's constantly pulling his head back. But you can actually fake an attack, make it seem like you're going to attack him, and then get him to try to counter you, and then you counter his counter. You can do this with a takedown. Maybe you can feint something, wait for him to counter, pull back, and then you can go for a takedown. Or you can do this with a punch, but it's a great way to throw off a great counter striker like Israel. But the next key to victory I have for Dricus is Jan Blachowicz was able to use leg kicks a lot against Israel Adesanya, and after the fight, Israel came out and said that his legs kind of felt weak and they felt kind of like they were dead. And we saw in the Pereira fight, Alex Pereira was having a lot of success using those leg kicks. He used them a lot more than Jan Blachowicz did, and he was a lot more aggressive. And like I said earlier, Dricus is going to have to apply the heavy pressure. So use that pressure to push him back, get him moving backwards. Like Strickland was doing that as well, but Israel was still able to move away from certain big attacks, and that's because Sean Strickland wasn't using those leg kicks, but Pereira was using them a lot, and he was able to trap Adesanya up against the fence and just take his movement away and allow him to get the finish in their first MMA fight. And Dricus, the difference between him and Pereira is he has that takedown threat. He's got the pressure like Strickland had. He can use the leg kicks like Pereira did. And now he's got the grappling and he's got the high pace. So he's going to be mixing up all these things against Adesanya, and it's going to be bad. And he's going to be able to take away his movement away and slow him down quite a bit. And the next key to victory I have for Dricus is something else that helped Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira, and Jan Blachowicz beat Israel Adesanya was a jab. Israel, he's got his head movement. He's usually faster than his opponents, and he's able to keep that distance between them. So he's able to just like evade using his head movement. He's not really like parrying jabs. He's not really like blocking them. He's mainly using his footwork or his head movement. But if Dricus does some of the things I said earlier, like defend the leg kicks, check his kicks, and use that heavy pressure, he's going to be able to take away Adesanya's movement, which is going to take away some major aspects of Adesanya's jab defense and just allow him to land that jab without Adesanya defending it. And the jab is also a great way to set up your attacks, your takedowns, or just heavy punches. So use that jab. And the last key to victory I have for Dricus is something else that Israel Adesanya does really, really well is use his feints. He likes to use those feints to kind of get a reaction and to hopefully get a similar reaction where he does it again, so that he's able to find a shot to exploit you with. So to take that away, Dricus Plessis is going to have to give different reactions to the same feints. When Adesanya goes for a jab feint, maybe you bring your hands up. The next time he goes for that, maybe you try to parry it. You try to use your head movement. Just mix it up. You can't be doing the same defensive movements over and over again. Otherwise, you're going to end up getting KO'd and, getting hurt by Adesanya, because he's great at setting up shots, and you don't want to get clipped with those shots with the precision, accuracy, and speed that Israel has. But that's all I've got for how Dricus Plessis can beat Israel Adesanya. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that Dricus has a chance? Thank you guys for watching. God bless. Make sure you guys tune in to the other videos I have coming this week. And this Friday is when I'm going to be releasing my prediction video for Dricus Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. But thanks for watching.
With his great big smile, and you'll find that even the kiddies are swinging in a later style. Oh.